Clash Royale in its current state is by far the worst that it has ever been. Throughout the entirety of 2023 and the beginning of 2024 so far, the game has just gotten to a place where it's just almost unenjoyable. That's the best way to put it. And if the game keeps going on the trajectory that it's going in, things are only going to get worse. So in this video, we're going to kind of talk about how Clash Royale got to this point over the course of the past few years, honestly starting with 2020. And then we're going to talk about what I think this game needs to be saved, because I do think it can be saved. It's just a matter of the right decisions being put in place. So let's go ahead and start talking. Also, this video is entirely unscripted. This is just me rattling off the dome. So yeah, let's talk. Where I want to start with this discussion is with 2020, which was 4 years ago at this point, which is really crazy to think about. So for those of you that were playing Clash Royale during this year, you may remember that at the time, many considered it to be the worst year in Clash Royale history. And there was one main reason for that, and it was because the entire year only featured one update. Now, we did have seasonal updates, and those were kind of cool, because seasons at that point at least introduced a lot of new content. We got a bunch of new cards during the year, and we got new arenas and new environments and new challenges. But in terms of game-changing updates, we only got one of those, and that was Clan Wars 2. And it's safe to say that Clan Wars 2 was not a good update, to say the least. And because of how bad it was upon release, they had to spend additional development time working on an update to fix Clan Wars 2, which came out in November of that year. And during that point in time, a lot of people were saying, you know, Clash Royale couldn't bounce back from this, you know, that the game was dead at this point, and there was really no point in just playing the game anymore because it just wasn't going to recover. However, the game actually did recover, funny enough. 2021 was a phenomenal year for Clash Royale. It was absolutely amazing, honestly. The first update was magic items, still a very important part of the game today. The second update of that year was in June, I believe, and it was just a massive, like, quality of life update. Like, there wasn't anything major. I guess the biggest thing was we got the Goblin Drill, and there were 2 new arenas, Rascal's Hideout and Serenity Peak. They also added the gold crates in that update. And like I said, it was nothing major, but it was just a bunch of quality of life changes that the game needed. And it was just an awesome update all around. And then the last update for 2021 was a pretty controversial one, but I still think it was as a whole for the good of the game, and that was the Champions update. And so really at this point when Champions were released, it was the biggest peak the game had seen pretty much since its initial stages in 2016 and 2017. And having that kind of resurgence that far in the future was absolutely incredible for the game. But then 2022, it started out strong, but then it started to go downhill pretty quickly. The first update of 2022 was really good. It was the Masteries update, and Masteries, even though they have been nerfed since their inception, they're still a really amazing way to progress in the game. And they also added the Mighty Miner during that update, a new champion following the Champions update that kind of kept the hype train going, you know? The summer update that year, it was really small and really very underwhelming. I mean, the things they added in that update were cool. That's when they added battle banners and the customizations to the profile and things like that. But like, that was it. We waited like 3 months of development time for that. Not very good if you ask me. And then the final update of that year, I actually think was a good update. It was just overshadowed by complete absurdity in the meta. And that was the Path of Legends update. I still think Path of Legends was a good feature. Separating Trophy Road and Ladder was a good thing. Added extra avenues of progression and gave a separate way to compete in Clash Royale, which is really cool. I like the Path of Legends still. But the thing that shrouded that update was the Monk and the Phoenix. And I still believe to this day that they are the 2 most broken cards upon release in Clash Royale history. And then of course 2023 is where it really just fell off. Really, all 3 updates were bad. I'm gonna lump Tower Troops within 2023 because it was basically 2023, even though the Cannoneer was released on January 1st, 2024. But yeah, the first update was the Pass Rail rework, complete garbage. The second update was Card Evolutions and Level 15. Level 15, still complete garbage. Card Evolutions, still need improvements. And then Tower Troops was, they're still pretty bad. You know, we did have that small little Prince update. I don't know if I really call that an update though, because all they did was add a champion. And honestly, that was really cool because Little Prince was free. Everyone got him. Despite him being broken, everyone getting a free champion was a great gesture. And I guess that was the best thing that happened during 2023. And so really we have this interesting timeline where we're starting at a low point with 2020. We have a really high point with 2021. Then we come down a little bit more with 2022. And then we just completely crashed with 2023. And really, when looking at this timeline, there's a few things that have stemmed as a result from these updates that have just made Clash Royale just feel like the worst thing ever. That's an exaggeration, of course, but yeah, Clash Royale's not in a good state. Of course, the biggest thing we got to talk about is monetization. Holy cow, it's sickening. Almost. Honestly, when going back to when Clash Royale added level 14, I was completely fine with that. The gap between level 13 being added to the game and level 14 being added to the game was like 5 years, which is a pretty big gap and enough time for enough people to get enough cards to be at a place where they can get to level 14. But then the gap between level 14 and level 15, what was it, like 2 years? 2021 to 2023. It wasn't even 2 years. It was more like a year and a half. And I hate to say it, but there's really only one explanation for that. Money. And then to pair with adding another level way too soon, they just make that extra level the hardest thing to acquire in the game's history. I'm all for grinding in video games. It's something that I enjoy. But when that grinding gets to a point where it is just an unnecessarily long amount of time to achieve a certain goal, it just gets to a point where it's not even worth it anymore. And level 15 to me just isn't worth it. I mean, it's still, from a gameplay perspective, what was the point? If you only have level 13 and 14 cards and you're playing against someone with an entirely level 15 deck, you are going to lose. There is almost no way you can win. The interactions make that much of a difference, and it really ticks me off. When I did that video a couple months ago of getting to 9,000 trophies and Ultimate Champion with Royal Recruits, I out of necessity had to get level 15 cards. Otherwise, I was not going to hit 9,000 trophies. Now, you can say skill issue all you want, but level 15 is just a fundamental issue in the game that should never have been added. Oh yeah, and I kind of jumped ahead. I just realized I didn't even talk about the Pass Royale. What they did with the Pass Royale was criminal, dude. So the Pass Royale was first added into Clash Royale in 2019, and it was changed in early 2023. Up until that point when they changed it, I literally bought every single pass. I bought every single one. That's at least 40. It's more than 40. It's probably closer to 50. And now that the Diamond Pass has come out, I don't even buy the Gold Pass anymore because it's not worth it. I have bought a few Diamond Passes. I bought the one with the Royal Recruits and the one with the Knight, but I only bought them because of the Evo Shards and because I needed the Royal Recruits Evo Shards for that video, and I bought the Knight one just because the Knight was absolutely broken. Here's the one thing I don't understand. All three of the major Supercell games have had reworks to their pass within the past year. Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, and Brawl Stars. And within these reworks, they increased monetization of the pass in some way. With Brawl Stars, they didn't increase the price of their pass, but they made it so that way you couldn't buy it with gems. You had to spend actual money. So in that way, they did increase monetization. And then Clash of Clans changed theirs from $5 to $7. And of course, you know, Clash Royale did the stupid thing with theirs. But here's the one thing I don't understand. When Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars reworked their passes, they made it more valuable to those who are buying the pass and those who are free to play at the same time. Why couldn't Clash Royale do that? In terms of the Gold Pass, they nerfed the rewards from the previous pass, and then with the Diamond Pass, they just took that and made it $12. Like, I don't understand. It's clear and obvious to me that one of Supercell's main goals in 2023 was to earn more money. In the year 2022, they lost money comparatively to previous years. So to me, it's clear that through this strategy, one of their goals for 2023 was to earn more money and to make up for those losses of the previous year. And so within their games, they implemented ways to earn more money, right? But at least in Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars, the monetization in the game is actually reasonable. But in Clash Royale, they couldn't do that for some reason, and I don't know why. And then let's talk about card evolutions and kind of how they fall into this whole debacle. So one thing I actually appreciate about card evolutions is that when they were first released in June, you could complete a bunch of challenges to get 6 shards to get whatever evolution you wanted, which is great. Thank you. And then more recently, there's also been the perfect match event, which is really awesome as well. I'm a big fan of that. But the rate at which you get evolutions now is laughable. Actually laughable. I can only get 1 wild shard in the season shop every 6 months without spending money. So in a year, I can get 2 evolutions of my choice. That's it? For real? And then you're gonna have it be like that, and then you're gonna just lock the newest evolution for that season behind the Diamond Pass. right? So that way, if you want to play the newest evolution, which most of the time has ended up being really good, balancing wise, borderline broken most of the time, you have to pay $12 to get that. Like, I'm okay with monetizing new content. I get Supercells to make money. I absolutely understand that. Clash Royale needs to make money. That's whatever. Do it. But my only ask is that you don't make it look like the biggest money grab in the history of history. And that's what card evolutions have looked like forever. And I haven't even talked about the shop offers yet. Y'all remember that $100 shop offer for card evolutions when they first came out? Why did that need to be a thing? Is earning more money really worth ruining the reputation of your game in the long run? Here's the way I look at things. Maybe this is me just being very, very close-minded, but I want y'all to hear me out and maybe leave a comment on what you think about this in the comment section down below. But here's the way I look at things. If the game were just better and the features that were added to the game were just better and balanced and accessible to more people, and more people were playing the game as a whole, wouldn't revenue just naturally increase? Maybe I'm closed-minded, but that's the way I look at it. If more people are playing the game, then you have to make more money, right? Again, I mentioned how I bought every single Clash Royale before the rework and how I've only bought 3 of them since. The reason I don't buy them anymore is just because they're not valuable to me. The previous rendition of the pass actually provided a lot of value for that $5 price point, so it was worth me buying. And because the new pass system just isn't worth it for what you're paying, I'm not gonna buy it. Maybe the goal with Clash Royale is to just siphon as much money as possible and get your bag while you can, and then just kind of let the game wither into dust. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know what the plan of the game is, but it kind of seems like that's what the plan is right now. Because every bit of new content that has been added into the game since 2023 has been incredibly predatory from a monetization standpoint and incredibly unbalanced to the point where you're going to be buying shop offers so that way you can play the broken thing. This mainly applies to card evolutions, by the way. We're going to talk about tower troops in a little bit. I hate the state the game is in right now. I just do. I've been recording this for 23 minutes. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to keep going. I got too many things I want to talk about. I got too many things I want to talk about. I don't care how this video performs. I'm putting it out there. This video is probably not going to have good watch time. I can tell you that right now. I don't care. I'm putting this out there. I need my thoughts to be out there. And I know I've been rambling a lot. My thoughts have been all over the place. If you have any questions about anything I've said, leave a comment, please. I'll be happy to answer them. But I just felt like it was necessary for me to just like record just my raw thoughts off the dome and just talk, all right? Anyway, I guess let's talk about tower troops now, because once again, yet another underwhelming feature. The one request I had with tower troops is that they wouldn't be released like card evolutions to the point where it would just be so difficult for free-to-play players to get them and play them at a semi-competitive level. And that was the one request I had. And that wasn't even a reality. Now, looks can be deceiving. There is the tower troop chest. Wow, shiny chest. Ooh, you can get tower troops for free just by playing battles. But what they don't tell you with these tower troop chests is that the amount of tower troops you get basically does not even make a dent. And most of the time you're going to get tower princesses anyway, because the cannoneer is an epic. I don't know if y'all watched the last episode of my free-to-play series. It took me a long time to get the cannoneer. It took me way too long, much longer than it should have. And then again, just like they did with card evolutions, they put these ridiculous shop offers in the game. I think the biggest one that a lot of people were complaining about, it was $60. And does Clash Royale not see the predatory nature of these shop offers, right? Do they not see it? How is it possible to not see it? Or maybe they do see it and they're just ignoring it. I don't know. Like I've said countless times throughout this video, you gotta make money. I get that. But there has to be a better way to go about it than what's happened in the past year or so. There has to be a better way. Y'all know I've got a series that I've done, you know, Clash Royale if it was good, Card Evolutions if it was good, and Tower Troops if it was good. And I think in those videos, I provided adequate solutions to address the problems that exist with these features in the game, while still providing effective monetization. And I'm not a game developer. I am a 20-year-old college student who was born in the year 2023, who does not even have a college degree. And I feel like I provided adequate solutions. Maybe it's me being full of myself, thinking that my solutions were good, but a lot of you agreed with them in the comments down below. I mean, I can read comments. I do respect the effort that is put into the concepts of new features more recently. I've spoken about this in the past. I think card evolutions are a cool concept. Taking cards and giving them different abilities adds an extra layer of depth to gameplay and adds more strategy. I think that's a cool thing. Tower troops, again, is another cool thing. The Princess Tower had been the exact same throughout the game's entire history, and it remained unchanged. And adding something that, again, provides more strategic choice within the game and has to make you learn more interactions and think more about your card placements and your deck composition and things like that. I think overall that is good for the game, but concepts do not matter unless they are implemented correctly. I can have an idea for the best business in the world, all right? But if I cannot execute on that business and develop it into a profitable business model, then none of my ideas matter. The concepts do not matter at all. And I think that's kind of the point where Clash Royale is at right now. None of the recent features have mattered just because the implementation has been dog water. I don't use that word often, but that's the best way to put it. And throughout this video, for the most part, I've been smiling. I've been putting on my little content creator persona. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy SolarFury here, back with another Clash Royale video. Yeah, I've been smiling. That's not how I actually feel. As a Clash Royale YouTuber, where making content on this game is my primary source of income, it's been a little bit rough. It's been a little bit rough over the past year or so, you know? I don't do this as a full-time job, but it is a part-time gig for me. I use the money from Clash Royale to like pay for groceries and other things. I'll talk about money, but I don't really make content for the money. It is a nice bonus, but I make content because I enjoy it. I created my channel in August of 2018. And I've pretty much been making Clash Royale videos throughout the entirety of its existence. And through the first 3 years or so of me making content, I had only about 5,000 subscribers. For those of you that don't know, when you have 5,000 subscribers, you're not making any money. You might make $100 a month if you're lucky. Maybe 200 if you're lucky. I ultimately have made content on Clash Royale and continue to make content because it's something I enjoy. Right? But it's getting to a point where what I'm making content on, I don't enjoy. I know that's a very first world problem. I know tons of people would kill to be in my position, and I do understand that, but it's demotivating. It really is demotivating. So to answer the question of this video, can Clash Royale be saved? Absolutely, 100%. It can absolutely be saved. This game has so much untapped potential. Almost 8 years into its existence. It has been 8 years since the beta of the game came out. The beta of the game released in January 2016. This game has been out for 8 years, and it still has untapped potential in terms of what it can do. It's just up to the developers of the game, and it's up to Supercell to realize the potential of the game and to make the good concepts that they're already working on actually good in a practical sense in the game. Like I said, concepts mean nothing if they're not implemented correctly. They mean absolutely nothing. The biggest issue with the game, of course, is monetization. Whether or not they'll fix that will ultimately determine the outlook of the game in the future and the community morale. It's interesting. It's the inverse relationship. As monetization has increased, community morale has decreased, right? I don't think you want that to be an inverse relationship, because ultimately, without a community, what is your game? Without the people that play your game, what is your game? It's a cash grab. That's what it is. So that's it for this video. What a video. This video is insane. I've never made a video where I rambled this much before. This is probably not going to perform well. If it gets 5,000 views, I'll be surprised, I'll be honest. But I just wanted to speak from the heart. I just wanted to talk about Clash Royale. For those of you that did make it to this far, thank you. For real, thank you. And here's to Clash Royale hopefully getting better, and here's to 100k in the future. Cheers. See you all in the next video.